A £25 gaming headset has to be terrible, right? I mean, Corsair's HS35 is, well, £35, and this is already pretty cheap. But this, the Empow EG3 Pro, is Amazon's choice for a gaming headset, and so in this video we're going to take a look at it and see if it's actually worth your money, if it's actually any good, or if Amazon's choice here is a bad one. But first, if you like this video and want to see more like it, make sure you do hit that subscribe button for more videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. When a headset is this cheap, they have to cut corners. The only question is how many they cut and by how much. You would be forgiven for thinking that this is a flimsy bit of cheap plastic and not much else, but much to my surprise, it actually isn't. The headband is made of metal. It has a metal wire running through the sort of padded section of the headband to keep it in place, and overall it feels pretty sturdy. It even has tiny little Allen key screws to hold it all together. Now the ear cups themselves, at least on the backs, are plastic, but honestly the plastic they've used here feels a lot less cheap than some of the even much more premium headsets I've checked out, so they've done a pretty good job there. And thanks to its design, there really isn't much movement available with the headset. There's not any movement in the ear cups themselves, which means that when you try and wear the headset, they basically just hope that the incredibly plush, and I mean incredibly plush, ear cups do most of the work to sort of conform to the shape of your head. Sadly for me, that didn't really happen. There was still a pretty sizable gap down at the bottom of my ears where I could actually stick my full finger in because it wasn't touching the bottom of my head. Now, thanks to those incredibly plush ear cups, it still felt reasonably comfortable even with that kind of downside, and overall I think comfort levels certainly aren't too bad. One thing to note though is that if you do wear the headset with one ear off fairly regularly, because of the design of this headset, it's not really possible. It kind of just hurts after a while, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Now, being a gaming headset, Empow decided that lighting was significant enough of a feature to add it to this kind of price level of a headset, and so you have lighting here. Now sadly for some of you it's not RGB, it's only white lighting, but if you plug in the USB connector you do get that lighting, and you even get a little LED on the boom arm which turns off when you use the inline controls to mute the mic, and just as I'm mentioning the inline controls, you do also have volume available on those too. Now in terms of the connectors, the USB plug is exclusively for powering the LEDs here and not for audio. The audio comes through a 4-pole headphone jack, and you do get a 4-pole to separated headphone and microphone jacks kind of adapter in the box, which is always good to see as well. So since they're built reasonably well, you have to assume that they've significantly compromised the audio experience on these headphones, right? Well, surprisingly not. The EG3's microphone isn't too bad. It does have a lot of noise in the background, especially when pumping the audio level up to match my normal, speaking microphone. And I would mention that while it doesn't have a pop filter built in for those plosive sounds, it does have a little windsock in the box if you'd prefer to cover the little LED that's on the microphone itself. And the good news doesn't stop there. The audio experience, or the listening experience from the 50mm drivers, is actually not too bad. Now, it's absolutely terrible by audiophile standards, but for a, non-discerning listener, let's say, this is certainly not the worst I've heard. You do get a bit of distortion in the highs. It's not the clearest in the highs or the mids either, and as with all cheap audio gear, the bass levels are pretty much significantly turned up from what they kind of should be, likely in an effort to try and mask the overall low quality of the sound. With that said, it's still pretty impressive for what you get, and even if you're listening to music, watching movies, or even just watching YouTube videos like this one, these certainly aren't the worst I've heard. Now for gaming, since that is kind of their intended purpose, they're still plenty fine. They are a true stereo headset, so discerning left and right from footsteps in game is still plenty easy, and like I said, with comfort levels, I think they're good enough that I wouldn't have too much of a problem using them for longer gaming sessions. Even with the sort of lack of conformity to my head issue, I still think they'd be plenty fine. So it turns out Amazon's choice here was actually a pretty good one. For just £25 or an astonishing $22 on Amazon.com, linked below by the way, this is a fantastic value for money that I can highly recommend, especially if you don't necessarily have the money to get anything much better. With that said, something like Corsair's HS35 or Asus's TUF H3 headsets are definitely a great value for money still and do provide a better listening and mic experience than the EG3 for about £10 to £15 more, so if you have the budget for them, these are a better option, but you really can't beat the value for money of this thing. So if you want to check out the Empower EG3, I'm going to leave a link to it in the description down below. It'll be the top link. That'll be an Amazon affiliate link that will take you to your local Amazon store where you can see pricing when and where you watch this. With that said, if you want to see more videos like this one every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, do hit that subscribe button from the bell notification icon for more videos, and you can also check out the rest of the links in the description down below too for a load of ways to support the channel and other ways than just, watching these videos. You can check me out on Patreon if you want to get cool rewards like ad-free videos and of course support me directly. You can pick up merch for hoodies or t-shirts like this one or a load of other cool new designs. There's Amazon and Overclockers UK affiliate links that don't cost you anything to use but massively help me out when you use them, or there's even stuff like Streamlabs OBS if you want to start streaming too. Otherwise, that is pretty much it. Feel free to check out some more videos over there. I'll try and remember to leave the headset reviews playlist so you can check out the Corsair HS35, the Asus TUF H3 and a load of other stuff, but that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, but otherwise we'll see you all in the next video.